Travel is amazing, isn't it? New places, new sounds, and oh, the food.
Yeah,
Trying local dishes, that's often the best part for so many of us.
absolutely. It's a huge part of the experience.
But imagine if looking at a menu filled you with, well, anxiety instead of excitement. What
Well,
if you've got dietary restrictions or, serious food allergies?
yeah, for a lot of people, that can really turn the dream of culinary adventure into something quite stressful.
It can. But fascinating way to connect even more deeply with where you're going.
That's a great way to put it.
So today we're diving deep into exactly that. How to travel with dietary restrictions and food allergies. And our guide for this is a really thorough piece by Mia Gibson over on Windful Living. What really caught my eye was that it was inspired by her friend Lisa.
Ah, the friend with the shellfish allergy.
That's the one. Severe shellfish allergy. But she traveled all through Southeast Asia, like the place for amazing seafood, and came back with incredible food stories, not horror stories. It just shows it can be done.
And that's really the heart of what we want to share with you today. Our mission, if you like, is to show you that traveling with these food considerations, it doesn't mean missing out. Not at all. It's all about being strategic, planning smartly, preparing well. That way you can ensure you have delicious, safe, and, satisfying meals wherever you end up.
Right. It's about turning that potential stress into a plan for exploring confidently.
Exactly. Confidently and safely.
So let's get into it. The absolute first thing, the foundation, according to the guide, is preparation. Plan ahead.
No winging it.
Definitely not winging it. The article makes it super clear. Planning versus winging it is often the difference between a trip filled with worry and one where you can actually properly relax.
Yeah.
But, for those of us who do love a bit of spontaneity, how do you find that balance? How do you do this essential prep without, scheduling every single meal and sucking all the fun out of discovery?
That's a really important question. Because it's not about making a rigid itinerary for your stomach.
Right.
It's more about building a kind of safety net, a flexible framework. Like maybe you research which types of local cuisine are generally safer for you. That lets you be spontaneous within those safer choices. So the planning isn't a burden. It's actually your key to finding those richer, more authentic experiences safely. It's like creating your own personalized safe list for the trip.
A safe list. I like that. It turns winging it into, well, informed exploring.
Precisely.
Okay, so what does this kind of planning look like, practically speaking? First up, research. You really have to put on your detective hat before you go. Use those specific search terms, gluten-free, vegan, allergy menu, whatever you need. Find places that already cater to those needs. Then, communication. Huge.
Absolutely huge.
The guide stresses contacting airlines, hotels, tour groups, ideally at least 2 weeks out. And for flights specifically, call the airline again, maybe 48 hours before, just to double-check that special meal request.
Good tip. Those things can sometimes fall through the cracks.
They really can. And if you're going international, translate key food words, print out allergy phrases in the local language, keep them all in a digital folder on your phone, easy to access.
Smart. Very smart.
And it works. The guide mentions Mia's friend Jenna, the one with celiac disease. She emailed her hotel in Portugal beforehand.
Ah, yes, the breakfast basket story.
That's it. She got there, and the hotel had this amazing gluten-free breakfast basket ready for her each morning. And they even included a note with local restaurant suggestions that were safe for her.
Wow.
All because she sent that one email a week before.
See, that just shows how that bit of upfront communication can totally change the game.
Yeah.
Cuts down confusion, reduces risk, especially when you're dealing with different food cultures or languages. Lets you relax.
Exactly. It sets you up for success. Which also leads us right into the next big pillar, packing smart.
Ah, the
The
snacks.
snacks. Crucial. It's not just about avoiding being hungry. It's about having safe, reliable options when you're in transit or if there are delays or, you just can't find anything suitable locally at that moment.
Peace of mind in your carry-on.
Totally. So what kind of things? Shelf-stable stuff is best. Allergy-friendly protein bars, trail mix, dried fruit, maybe even some TSA-compliant homemade things like quinoa bowls or wraps if you're organized.
Yeah, good idea.
But the main thing is always keep some emergency snacks in your day bag. Always. Mia says her travel snacks saved her countless times on long flights or during layovers.
I believe it.
And her vegan colleague Sarah had a good tip. Lightweight, nutrient-dense things like homemade energy balls or dried fruit, easy to carry and great to pair with, say, a local juice or coffee if you're out exploring and struggling to find a full vegan meal right then.
That's clever. And it links back to planning too, doesn't it?
Right.
Because another smart move is to research local grocery stores or health food shops at your destination before you go.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, you can often find great allergy-friendly sections in supermarkets abroad now, so you can restock your emergency stash, mix your pack supplies with local finds. It just gives you another layer of security, knowing you can top up if needed.
Right, so you don't have to haul your entire pantry with you.
Exactly. It's about being prepared, not overburdened.
Okay, so we've planned, we've packed our snacks. Now let's talk about actually navigating the local food scene once you're there.
Fair.
How do you engage confidently with new cuisines, especially if it's not a pre-vetted restaurant?
This is where the detective work continues, really.
Okay. So first, doing a little homework before you arrive on popular local dishes and their typical ingredients, that helps a lot.
Definitely.
And identifying cuisines that are naturally more aligned with your needs. We mentioned South Indian for vegetarian, vegan, Vietnamese, often good for gluten-free, Mediterranean, usually quite clear with labeling.
Right. Knowing the landscape helps.
And this is critical, it's not just the ingredients. You have to be really mindful of cross-contamination. Shared kitchens, shared fryers, cutting board.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge one, often overlooked.
Mia mentions researching common peanut use in Thai food before her trip. So she felt confident ordering pad Thai, but specifically asking for no peanuts.
Smart. Simple preparation.
And her celiac friend avoids buffets entirely. And she learned to ask very specific questions about how the food is cooked, not just what's in it. Those hidden dangers, like a shared fryer, can catch you out even if the dish itself seems safe.
That is such a crucial point. Understanding the how is just as vital as the what. It empowers you, doesn't it? To ask the right questions, trust your gut feeling, and really drill down into potential risks. It's moving beyond just reading a menu.
It really is. And that leads perfectly into communication when you're actually there, trying to order or ask questions, especially if there's a language barrier. What tools can people use?
Technology can be your friend here.
Okay, like what?
Well, the guide suggests translation apps specifically for food allergies. Things like Allergy Translate or even Google Lens can be surprisingly helpful for menus.
Oh, Google Lens, yeah. Point your phone at it.
Exactly. Second, those printed food allergy travel cards we mentioned, in the local language. They're brilliant because they often explain the severity and provide cultural context, which a simple translation might miss.
That's a good nuance. And third?
Visuals. Never underestimate pictures. If words fail, photos of ingredients you need to avoid can be incredibly effective.
Right. The guide has that great story about the lactose-intolerant friend in rural Japan.
Showing pictures of milk and cheese.
Yeah. She just showed the photos on her phone to the restaurant staff, and they instantly got it. Bridge that language gap perfectly.
It just works. Clear communication, however you achieve it, becomes your absolute best tool. It's your backup if the tech fails, your way to ensure safety, and honestly, your way to connect with people too.
It really empowers you. Okay, so communication is key. But what about the ultimate safety net? What if, despite all the planning and careful communication, something still goes wrong? We need to talk emergency plans.
Yes, the just-in-case plan. Essential for peace of mind.
Absolutely. So basic emergency prep. Keep your allergy meds, EpiPens, antihistamines, whatever you need easily accessible, always. Carry-on luggage, never checked.
Critically important, don't separate yourself from your medication.
Learn a few key medical phrases in the local language. Hospital, ambulance, allergy. Simple, but could be vital. And tell someone. Your travel buddy, maybe even the hotel front desk. Make sure someone else knows about your needs.
Good advice.
Whoops.
Don't keep it a secret.
The guide mentions a friend with a severe nut allergy. She does it all. Wears a medical alert bracelet, carries a doctor's note explaining her condition, and actively researches nearby hospitals and 24-hour pharmacies at every stop.
That's thorough.
She says knowing exactly where to go in an emergency actually gives her the confidence to be more adventurous with food within her known limits.
That makes perfect sense. It removes a layer of fear.
And teaching your travel companions some basic terms about your allergy is also super important so they can help advocate for you if needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even with the best plans, things can happen. Having that solid backup plan isn't about expecting the worst. It's about building the confidence to handle anything. That confidence lets you explore more freely. Knowing you're prepared, it gives you true freedom.
True freedom. I like that. And that really ties it all together, doesn't it? Learning how to navigate travel with dietary restrictions or allergies, it's all about finding that sweet spot between being safe and still exploring the culinary world.
It's about empowerment, not limitation.
Exactly. There's one last story from the guide that really illustrates this. A friend who's gluten intolerant was in Barcelona.
Oh, yeah.
She needed a recommendation for a celiac-friendly place, so she just popped into a pharmacy and asked. The pharmacist recommended this incredible little hidden gem, and that meal became one of her absolute favorite travel memories. Not despite her restriction, but kind of because of it, it led her to this unexpected local connection and discovery.
That's wonderful. And it highlights something really interesting, doesn't it? How sometimes these needs, these so-called restrictions, can actually push you towards deeper cultural engagement.
How so?
Well, because you have to learn more about ingredients, about how things are prepared, about local food traditions, just to stay safe.
Hmm.
And in doing that, you often end up gaining a much richer, more detailed understanding of the culture than someone just, you know, grabbing the first thing they see. It really makes you think, how can the things we see as limitations sometimes open doors to experiences that are actually more profound?
That's a great point. It flips the script. So for you listening, what does this mean for your next trip? How could leaning into your unique needs, whatever they might be, maybe lead you to unexpected places, amazing discoveries, and maybe even a deeper connection with the world around you?